The Chicago Bears have gone the opposite direction of most teams in the NFL. So, what are so many teams doing? We see it every single offseason. Spend big, win now. Or here's another one. This didn't go perfectly, so let's fire the coach. Teams, I get it. They want to build immediately. I do too. They want heads to roll yearly. Get that shiny player who's going to reset the market and sell jerseys, right? Make the huge move. Go after Mike Evans in free agency, pay him top dollar, make a move, go to Cincinnati, grab T. Higgins, see what it will cost, how much we can pay him to get him on our team. But the thing is, how often does this actually work? I mean, you could say the Rams pretty much bought a team the year of their Super Bowl run. I mean, that's arguable, but it's kind of an outlier. The Chicago Bears have done something differently. GM Ryan Poles has built this team methodically and responsibly with long-term cap control, and this is after a full teardown, after jettisoning some very popular, some very expensive players. They were on albatross contracts. They were terrible. And I think the fruits of this are going to be evident starting this year, but it doesn't mean that GM Ryan Poles is not aggressive. He's found a balance, and let's look what was done with the defense. They passed on Grenard, Hunter, Wilkins. Wow, that was a huge contract with the Raiders, right? McKinney, we went with Kevin Byard instead. He's not only a great player, but a better leader for a team-friendly price. On offense, Saquon, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. I mean, a lot of these players were open to get, so many huge contracts. So what have the Bears basically done? Sure, they've signed DeAndre Swift to an immediate free agent deal. And let's look at that and put it into perspective. This is the perfect example. So Swift has signed the second free agency started for 3 years and 24 mil. A lot of criticism at the time that the Bears are paying for a career year, 1,049 yards, that year wouldn't transfer. But here's the thing. GM Ryan Poles, he saw a great fit for the new offense. So he was aggressive. He got the guy he wanted. And immediately after, what happened? The Packers signed Josh Jacobs to 4 years and $48 million, a $3 million a year difference. No criticism about an overpay with that. And you could argue that Jacobs is a more successful player. I get it. But there's a ton of tread gone from the tires, and he already has a hammy in training camp in preseason. He can't seem to stay healthy, but whatever. So now we see the Ramondre Stevenson contract come out a little while later, 4 years and $36 million. Very comparable player to Swift. I'd rather have Swift personally, and Stevenson is making $1 million more a year. Only played 12 games and had 430 fewer yards. So now as it stands, Swift is now the 8th highest paid running back in the league in per year compensation. And the 24 total value is actually 9th. It'll soon drop lower as other contracts are signed, and this will soon be looked at as a steal. Another great move by GM Ryan Poles, regardless of the players that people were pounding the table for, like Saquon. Quality player, not resetting the market. And then you look at the recent DJ Moore contract. Chicago decided to pay their own instead of overextending on a free agent. Just settling back and paying your own player. So Moore's contract, let's look at that. That's going to have him in Chicago through the 2029 season. It now comes with $82.6 million in guaranteed money. That's a lot of money. But this extension, part of the latest in an exploding wide receiver market. It's going to see Moore be ranked 7th among receivers in annual value, 3rd in total guarantees right now. But that is going to change. This wide receiver market is just going crazy. Another example, let's look at Montez Sweat. He has a $24.5 million in average salary. That slots Sweat 5th in the NFL behind the Bosa brothers, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and just ahead of the Green Bay Packers, Rashawn Gary, who signed his new contract just recently. And as more guys get paid, that'll be even more of a bargain very, very soon. Let's keep comparing, right? Let's look at how he methodically built this team. It's different. Let's look at Cole Kmet. Once again, second-round pick out of Notre Dame in 2020, set to enter the final year of his rookie contract with a 2.9 base salary. So the 24-year-old, he got a big pay raise. 12.5 million in new money average. That ranks tied for ninth at the position with the Patriots' Hunter Henry. Now, Keenan Allen, he was an unexpected splash signing. He's making nice cash, but it's only for 1 year. A decision can be made here later. Let's finish it up here. Let's go with Jalen Johnson. Guys, this is the best corner in the league, and GM Ryan Poles, he got him to sign a contract that'll end up being a bargain too on his new contract during the offseason. His average salary is $19 million. That pushes Johnson slightly outside the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks, and it's just the timing. The insistence on drawing up a price valuation on a player and not deviating, not setting the market ever for any player anywhere. And now we've seen this defensive line built well and economically through the draft, right? And also through responsible depth signings. Just over last week, right? You have the Taylor move, then the Williams pickup, now the Robert signing, and 3 quality depth pieces for very little cost. And now the roster position is nice and deep. This defensive line got finished off. It looks like a quality unit without a long-term detriment to the cap. And believe me, there are people pounding at the table for a huge move to be made as players kept coming off the market in free agency. Remember that? But Poles is built different. He identifies players that make sense from a talent and money perspective. He shoots his shots accordingly, and he doesn't pay attention to the noise. For example, you watch Hard Knocks, the Matt Judon trade. Poles drew a line in the sand. You need to sign a contract to play here, Matt. Judon didn't want to sign a contract, and he went to Atlanta really for the same pick compensation. It was for a third. What does Poles do? He moves on. He pivots with these 3 signings. The most important part, though, showing that this is a place you want to play ball at, right? With the new contracts for DJ and Johnson in particular, the message of this, if you ball out in Chicago, don't worry. We got you. We're going to pay you. You're going to get your bag. And on top of that, there's now a team culture that it's really something that players are wanting to be a part of. That's part of the reason these team-friendly deals are signed with these marquee players. And the cap, it's still fully healthy long-term, never overextended, rookie contracts, in key places, especially with the tandem of Caleb and Rome Odunze, right? And what's been done here is what I'm saying. The discipline, it's something that shouldn't be rare. It shouldn't be, but actually it is in today's NFL. And GM Ryan Poles, he seems to have it down. He's stuck to his guns. He didn't fire his head coach when everybody was clamoring for him to do so. Now we've got continuity from the head coaching position. We've got this defensive line finished out. We've got this great secondary. Offense is put together really nicely. This offensive line, we need to stay healthy though. But it could be an underrated, really good offensive line. Earlier in the preseason, they were saying that the Bears had a top 10 offensive line. So let's see how that shakes out. That's the only part that makes me a little bit nervous. But you guys let me know. What do you think about the way that this team has been constructed? I think it's absolutely fantastic. And it's not just a homer view. I'm going to say something here. If I look at the rest of this division and I go player by player, position by position on paper, I like the Bears roster better than the rest of this NFC Central. But I am jealous of the Detroit Lions offensive line. I'll give them that. So you guys let me know what you think. Bear down. This has been so much fun. And man, the first game against the Titans, it's going to be here before we know it on Sunday. So appreciate you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bear down.